You can't be a transformer when you are friendly with mediocrity, with low standards. So mediocrity is about you accepting the lower status of life and you think it is normal. That is their domain. Where they are telling us to go to heaven, that is their domain. But now us, the leaders, we can't talk to the communities as if we are promising the world after they have died. We have to fix the world here.
You all know the profile of Honorable Alex Ruhunda. I will not talk about him.
Honorable Beatrice warned about titles, so I'm not going into that, but all distinguished leaders in your respective capacities who are here. I want to recognize my colleagues who have come from Kampala, from Parliament, Honorable Tom Bright Amoti. Thank you for making it here. Honorable Acrobat Kiza from Mendera. I'm happy to have you here. The other members of Parliament will be joining us in due course. And of course, our elder, Honorable Kano Tom Botime Ateni is going to be here the whole of tomorrow. So he conveys his greetings. And he's going to be with us tomorrow, the whole day. I have loved everybody who has come on this stage has said very nice words. And I told the deputy mayor that her submission has really raised her rankings. She's a quality lady, but you know, that I leave to the people of Fort Porto here in the city. When we thought through the Kasunga leaders retreat, because that time I was a young dynamic man at the helm of KRC. And our preoccupation was, how can we think together as a region? I recall in 1998 when I went to Kasese, I think 97, I went to the LOC 5 and I was a young graduate from university, very enthusiastic. And I said, I'm coming, I want us to work with you. I'm introducing this organization. And the guy just told me, you want to bring Toro here? You, Batoro, do you know what you did to us? I was in shock. The man talked so many words that were really shocking. And really had nothing to do with those mistakes. I was a young graduate who wanted to do good to my society, to the people, and I was driven by that. So, but you see, that really raised a big challenge. And I said, I think this is a problem I have to fix. So, this lady who said, everybody, nobody, somebody. So I just had to take responsibility. I said, I will get it, you get it by the horns. So he created a good job for me. So since then, I said I will stay in Kasese. I will go and sleep in the mountains. I must make sure that I am in Kasese to make a difference. And indeed it happened. So for me, I think, this passion and the drive, we would be very far if we were preoccupied with ideas that address societal development needs. Because for me, that is the preoccupation. There is too much work for that. So why should I bother about a tribe or a religion or anything? These are creations. But and that entered my head. So since then, I just see God in me, and I don't see anything short of that. So I just see, now God is in me. So I must do great things. Because God is great. Omnipotent, the creator of heaven and earth. Then if God is in me, why can't I think big?
Exactly.
So I don't need to go anywhere to study that. They taught me when I was a little boy. And then I learned another good thing. That's, they say, God said, you are the master of the universe. This universe is yours. Go and enjoy and conquer. Now why should I really not do that? So why should I leave it for other races? Why should the British, the Chinese of recent, of course the Americans now we can see with the Russians and so on, why do you allow them to implement God's command? And then for us we are just watching. You see, there's a problem. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't belittle myself before God. I say, God, you say that I must be a master, I must be a great guy, and I must live to that. So I really don't understand people who are tribal, who are thinking this. I just see that those are mental sicknesses. You just suffer from mental sickness. And your mind is caged. It's lopsided. It's like when you say you are gay. It means there's something wrong with your head, that you are now, instead of seeing a beautiful lady like Beatrice, you are just looking at a man. It means you have a mental problem. So it is the same when you are thinking about tribe. You've got a mental problem. So for me, I don't understand when I see, because in this hall I just see black guys. We are black people, and that is what God gave us, and that is something you cannot remove me from. I am a black man, and I see black women, and we talk black business. So what is that? So any other issues is really you are mentally sick when you are just thinking of small things. You have a mental deficit. And you see, when you tell people like that, they just think, oh, that guy is proud one. No, you're just mentally retarded. Because anyone, just make a reflection. When you are thinking of tribe, what religion, what not, all these kind of things, then you have that problem. And you need to be rescued. And I think that's why Kasunga is here. So for me, life is just purposeful. So why should you really be living? Why do you have this life? What will you be known for in this life? So please, don't really abuse God. Because when you are given the gift of life, what is it that you are using your life for? And what will you be remembered? So for me, I was telling many of my friends that I go into meetings, and one of the challenges which I face, because I have been at the international scene. By the way, like here in Toro, you know the Toro, They don't like to have big people. The moment you try to be big, then they must pull you down. They think, this guy, I don't know why they think the space for big persons is somewhere else. I think that is another thing where the elders have to reflect. What makes you think you can't produce big persons to the world? Why? So why should you go against somebody who has bigger ideas? And you know, when you have somebody thinking big, it means that person is useful. And there are so many people going to benefit. We must protect them. We must really, dearly protect them. So we need really to change. Because societies are advancing. I feel so bad that up to now we don't have technology competing globally. As Ugandans, as Africans, we don't have that. And if they send a missile here, we don't have what can counter. So, but does that occur to you? Does that occur to you at a given moment to say, but when can we really, are we safe? Are we at the mercy of Caucasians? So can't we think how we can nurture the brains of our young persons such that we can also produce drones? We can turn our kifaro into drones. So for me, these are things which I feel are fundamental. So I feel this is very, very, very fundamental. So let us really look at knowledge, technology, and build ideas that can advance society and make us enjoy the fruits of what God has given us in this beautiful planet and continent, but also Uganda and now Lesotho. So I don't want to take your time, but I just wanted to tell you that actually all that preoccupies me is that. And I have no business with people who think small. And of course, that is one of the crises that I suffer, even politically. Because people turn around my words and they try to confuse the masses just because they can't stand this kind of thinking. So I hope this Kasunga 11 is going to realize the benefits of the efforts that we have over the years created. Now we have the Mountains of the Moon University. It is not a university for anybody else. It is our university, and we must take advantage of it and invest heavily in it such that we can transform our society. I wish you the best in your deliberations. God bless you. The elder whom I'm going to invite, Dr. Crispas Kionga, is one of the regional figures that we are proud of because he has lived longer, I think, than many of us here. And he has been in the struggle for quite a long time. So he has seen many things. But notably, is one of my secret mentors and advisors, because at one point I wanted to give up in politics. I could not manage, some of these small little things which really, your brain, when your brain is really meant to do bigger things and you go politics, you suffer. So it is really a big problem you know, you have to struggle because there are bigger things which we have to fight for our region. But at the same time, you have to deal with very other issues which are, you know, you must really, I can't talk like I have talked when I'm down there. It is a different language. Because you have now to make the voters appreciate you. They kick you out. So, but you know, I was struggling and I was brainstorming, and he said, Ruhunda, don't give up. You keep in there. And you know, your words encouraged me. If there are people who don't like me in Fort Portal, blame Dr. Kiyonga. He's the one who has kept me going. Said, you keep in there. Yesterday, there are many discussions that transpired. And people were referring to this city. This is your city. It's not for people who live here in Fort Portal. This is your regional city. Please reflect on that. If you don't have an address in Fort Portal, from today, start working that out. Since we are making resolutions. So I think we shall have one of the resolutions and say, the leaders of the region have agreed that they must have presence in one way or another in this beautiful Fort Portal tourism city. We need the Msinga to have his palace. We need the Mundingia to have, like they are doing in Kampala. So why are you not thinking that way? So we must have a bigger vision that is beyond the small confines that surround us, because this is an international asset. So I will keep repeating that it is an international asset. Everybody throughout the world has got a right to come and live here and do business. So I hope that you have understood that very well. Now, what does this require? Of course, at every level, we need to have long-term focused leaders. Because we can't build a city through short term. I have been talking to many people out there. I was with the speaker in Kagote, and people were asking me about Saka Road. They want tarmac there and then. And they said, yes, whether we like it or not, the tarmac will be there. Because we have a university, government university. We have now a military division, over 10,000 soldiers. That's big business there. We have also Katojo prisons. So you look at those three, there is no way how government can fail to plan for tarmac. But it's a matter of time. So we have to be honest with people for them to understand the city we want. So a vision is something big, it is huge. We're talking about 100 years. In this hall where we are today, there are those who will come 100 years after us, and they will read about us. So whatever preoccupies me today is how will those who come 100 years, what will they remember me for? So a leader, you must leave a legacy. You know me, yesterday we were discussing, but I raised a point and I said, meetings of Ugandans Whenever Ugandans meet, what do we discuss? You can imagine the whole of this morning, we have been discussing problems. Actually, if you are not careful, you may have to go for mental therapy. Because the problems are overwhelming. You know, what type of people are we? How can we fail on the basics? Because for me, the life that you hold is not accidental. And that means you must plan for that life. And the planning and visioning is not academics, spiritual. We are spiritual beings. So we should be able to think ahead, visualize, and work towards the ideal. So for me, one of the things that I said to myself are those standards. First of all, I decided to hate bad things. I don't like bad life. I don't want to go and fetch water carrying a gel can. I find that terrible.
With the eco life.
Huh? Imagine going to carry water on your head in this modern era. I cannot imagine using 3 stones to cook. I can't believe that people are using 3 stones to cook. Of course, now everybody will be wondering and say, this guy, does he live here in Fort Portal or Toro? But how can I find ancient technology, Stone Age technology being applied in this modern time? So anybody who is in this room, if you go back to your home, or to your relative's home or your mother's home, and they are still using 3 stones to cook, you have a big problem. You shouldn't go to heaven. Seriously. Why should you go to heaven when you have let your parents continue with Stone Age technology? Didn't you go to school? Haven't you been exposed? Haven't you moved to places? What do you learn? What do you copy? How dare you allow 3 stones to be used for cooking? How dare? So you know I begin by hating. So I hate 3 stones. So whenever I find 3 stones, I chase them. I say that's not standard. So there are standards that we must build. And you build by hating the bad things. You know, the propensity to change and transform, there has to be that, that momentum, that force that makes you really catapult. But you cannot create transformation when you are hobnobbing with mediocrity. You can't be a transformer when you are friendly with mediocrity, with low standards. So mediocrity is about you accepting the lower status of life and you think it is normal. And the moment you put that in your mind, then you live with it, you love it, and you be it. So how do you change? How do you transform society? As a leader, you transform society by looking at the best of the best and you aim for that. And that's why here in Fort Portal, I'm talking about smart city, smart people, smart technology. Smart people, smart city, smart technology. So that is the ideal. And we have to work towards that. So we sat and we are saying, Why is it that we are not producing the human capital that fixes? Where could be the problem? So the problem has been that the mindset of Ugandans, they think to succeed you must have a degree. They have less confidence when it comes to technical skills. But societies are built by technicians. Innovations come with technicians. So that's why my preoccupation is that we have to technically skill this wastage we are seeing of the youth population. We must skill them. And I'm not just here talking that preach what you think, but me, I'm a doer. What I don't like is sounding vulnerable. You know, when you are a leader, you should never look vulnerable before the people. A leader, you have to feel that strength, and you gain the confidence where the community has to believe in you and where you are taking them. So when we started in 2002, I'll just conclude a little bit as I'm winding up. When we came to begin research, and actually today, when I was seated there, I was just loving what I'm seeing, because we are driven by data. We are in this hall and we are analyzing data. We are looking at the statistics. We are looking at figures. So it means that we have improved. We are not into the narratives. We are now looking at facts. And there is no society that can grow when it is not driven by science. Data, the data analytics. So you've got to fall in love with data. So you can't keep people. You should leave the field for the religious leaders. That is their domain. Where they are telling us to go to heaven, that is their domain. But now us, the leaders, we can't talk to the communities as if we are promising the world after they have died. We have to fix the world here. So when we got the Mountains of the Moon University in 2002, KRC, we said we must invest, and we welcomed the university. As a young guy, I knew what this university will do in the future. So we had to even pay for the first staff of the university for 6 months using KRC reserve money. So I wasn't in politics, but I was looking at the future.